Some love stories are written in one place, in one language, under one sky. This is not one of those stories. This is about a Polish woman and a Congolese man who built a life that refused to stay still, a family that grew roots in 4 different countries, and a love that proved something the world needs to hear. But before any of that could happen, 2 strangers had to meet in a place neither of them expected to call home. Poland wasn't where Patrycja imagined her life would change forever. It was just home, familiar and predictable, until the day she crossed paths with a Congolese student who had traveled thousands of miles to study in a country where winter felt nothing like the warmth of Central Africa. Their worlds couldn't have been more different. She grew up surrounded by the red rooftops and cobblestone streets of Polish towns. He carried with him the rhythms and colors of Congo, a place she had only seen in photographs. Yet somehow, in the middle of lectures and library study sessions, in the everyday chaos of university life, they found each other. And when they did, something shifted. There was no dramatic moment, no cinematic scene where everything suddenly made sense. It was quieter than that. It was the kind of connection that grows slowly, the kind you don't realize is changing you until you can't imagine life without it. What neither of them knew back then was just how much their love would be tested, not by doubt or distance, but by the simple question of where they belonged. Because falling in love is one thing. Building a life together when you come from opposite sides of the world is something else entirely, and that's exactly what they had to figure out. They began in Poland, the place where their story started, but love doesn't always let you stay where you're comfortable. Life pulled them toward Germany, then back to Poland, then onward to France. Each move brought new challenges, new languages to navigate, new cultures to blend, new versions of themselves to discover. Imagine packing your life into suitcases again and again, leaving behind friends and routines, learning to call a new place home before you've even fully unpacked. That was their reality. But through every transition, every moment of uncertainty, one thing remained constant. They had each other, and they had a vision of the family they wanted to build. On September 4th, 2015, that vision became real. Their daughter Sarah was born, a beautiful blend of 2 cultures, 2 continents, 2 families who loved her before they even met her. Suddenly, the question of where they belonged wasn't just about them anymore. It was about this tiny person with dark curls and curious eyes, this little girl who would grow up speaking multiple languages, celebrating traditions from both sides of her heritage, carrying the best of both worlds in her heart. And just when they thought they had found their rhythm as a family of 3, life had another gift waiting for them. On October 8th, 2019, Noah arrived, and their family felt complete. 2 children, each one a living testament to the fact that love doesn't see borders. Sarah and Noah would never have to choose between being Polish or Congolese. They could be both. They could be everything. But even with the joy of their growing family, Patrycja and her husband still hadn't found that final piece of the puzzle. They were still searching for the place where they could truly settle, where they could stop moving and start building something permanent. France had given them many things, including the moment 4 years ago when they stood together and made their commitment official. Their wedding in France wasn't grand or elaborate, but it was theirs. It was a promise made in a country that had become part of their journey, surrounded by the people who mattered most. Yet even as they celebrated, Patrycja held onto another dream, one that lived quietly in the back of her mind. She imagined a church wedding in Congo, in the heart of the country her husband called home, where his family could witness their union in the way tradition called for. That day hasn't come yet, but she believes it will. Some dreams take time, and the best ones are worth waiting for. After France, after all the moving and adjusting and reinventing, they finally found what they had been searching for. Luxembourg became the place where everything clicked into place. It wasn't just another stop on their journey. It was peace. It was stability. It was home in a way that nowhere else had been. In Luxembourg, they could breathe. They could plan. They could watch Sarah and Noah grow without wondering where they'd be next year. The chaos of constant change gave way to something they hadn't fully experienced before, the simple gift of permanence. But even with that peace, They didn't become the kind of family that stayed in one place and stopped exploring. Instead, they turned their attention outward. They started traveling the world together, showing Sarah and Noah that home isn't just the four walls you live in. Home is the people you're with, the memories you create, the adventures you share. What makes their story so powerful isn't just that they overcame challenges, it's that they never let those challenges define them. They never looked at their differences and saw obstacles. They saw richness. They saw opportunity. They saw the chance to create something bigger than either of them could have built alone. Patrycja didn't have to give up being Polish to love a Congolese man. He didn't have to abandon his roots to build a life in Europe. They brought their whole selves to their relationship. And in doing so, they created a family that belongs everywhere and nowhere. A family that proves love is the strongest foundation you can build on. And here's what matters most about their journey. They're not done. Patrycja believes that everything they've been through, every move, every challenge, every moment of uncertainty, was just preparation for what's ahead. She looks at her husband, at Sarah, at Noah, and she sees a family that has already survived so much and grown stronger because of it. She sees the church wedding in Congo that will happen one day. She sees the countries they'll visit together, the lessons their children will learn, the ways their love will continue to expand and evolve. She sees a future that's brighter than anything they've already experienced. And that's saying something, because their past is already full of beauty. Their story isn't finished. It's still being written in every plane ticket they book, every new place they explore, every dinner table conversation where Sarah and Noah ask questions about their heritage, every quiet moment when Patrycja and her husband look at each other and remember how far they've come. It's being written in the way they've proven that love doesn't just win sometimes. Love always wins. If you're brave enough to fight for it, patient enough to let it grow, and strong enough to trust it even when the path isn't clear. From a university in Poland to a home in Luxembourg, from two individuals to a family of four, from uncertainty to peace, Patrycja and her husband have built something that defies easy categorization. They've built a love that crosses oceans, a family that honors multiple cultures, and a life that shows the rest of us what's possible when you refuse to let fear or convention limit who you love or how you live. If their story resonates with you, if it reminds you that the most beautiful things in life rarely come easy, hit that like button. Drop a comment sharing your thoughts or your own story of cross-cultural love. And subscribe, because stories like this, stories about real people building extraordinary lives, are what this channel is all about.